What's going on, guys? How is everybody out there? Sitting here messing with the mic still. See, is that more gain or less gain? We need Rogaine. I think we should be 5 by 5. Let me see. Right about here. Happy Thursday, Sheree. How are you? Oh, let me switch that over to live chat. Working on a 3D print at the moment. And it's delicate, so it's drying or whatever. I had to stop what I was doing and run in. I was like, oh shit, I start my stream soon. Going to be blackening a lot of things tonight. I didn't realize how much shit I've actually got to turn black. I'm doing all right. Like I said, it's crazy. I didn't even looking at how many damn prints I've done recently. Let me turn on the old camera there so we can see everything. But yeah, so I've been looking at everything. Like we got Judge Dredd. Actually, you know what? Let me adjust this one light here. I think we'll go into a lower light mode, so it's not as brutal. But yeah, so we're gonna have a Judge Dredd bust. We got the Punisher bust, of course. So we got Punisher. Got it, like I said, all into the black. We got our Donkey Kong. The redo of Donkey Kong. So he's got to get blackened. What's up, Bubba? We've got, he's actually got a little dust on him. Dust and cat hair. Swear to God, cats. But yeah, we got good old Batman here, the whole statue for him. So all these little pieces and parts. And his stand's got to get blackened. How's the sound, Sheree? Do I need to go louder with it, or I'm thinking about cutting down the microphone quite a bit once I start with the airbrush and everything. Okay, cool. We're 5 by 5. This is the one I'm currently working on, and this is the body for him. And I guess I should kind of explain a little bit, but somebody was actually able to pull the files out of Marvel Rivals and turn them into 3D models or what have you. The only problem was, and I'll show you in a second with the other one, this is the body for the one I'm currently printing out. And I did his head and accidentally snapped the fins off on the side of the head when I was pulling it free, so I had to redo it. But yeah, like it says in the title, here's the thing. And yeah, here's the thing. So this is the guy who did the sculpt, and I'll have to look up his name. And I'll have it. But he pulled like damn near every model out of the game. So I can actually do all different Marvel superheroes I don't have. So I won't be doing Iron Man or Venom again. But Captain America, finally, I don't think he did Captain America yet. I'm going to have to ask him for it. But he pulled this out of the game itself. It's exactly what it's one of the poses in the game, the whole 9 yards. And that was cool and all. Like, you can see the size of it. It fits in my hand. So what I ended up doing was I was like, all right, that's really neat and everything. Painting this is going to be kind of a bitch. And I kind of wish I could manipulate it more like I do with the other models. So I started looking, and for the past couple days, I've spent, I don't know, probably about 8 hours, 9 hours of learning on Blender how to do just that. So, as I said, he fits in about the palm of my hand. Well, I was able to print out a huge ass thing and split them down, hollow them out. You can see he's hollowed. Clean out everything on the inside. And my cut job, I think I got it beautiful. Like, there's barely a seam noticeable. Get his little feetsies on there. I think there might be one or two places where he might need to get shaved down, what have you. But yeah. Big difference between being able, this is as big as I could get the original to this size. Using Blender and learning how to split a model and everything else in it and what have you. He held on to the same definition, whole 9 yards. So you got a wee one and a big one. The wee one's just basically, he had a defect in the foot when he printed anyway, so I would have had to reprint him. But this big bastard, that's going to be a fun one to do when I do him. But here's the thing. One of the only problems with it though is this, and you guys can see it, because he ripped the models directly from the game files. You can kind of see how you have this striation in there. That's because of the digital artwork, where this one looked the same way across all the clothing and he's nice and smooth. That's because I used Blender. I had to learn how to do it and was able to reduce the amount of faces and basically smooth out the entire model, make it look uniform and nice, right? With him, I couldn't do that because the only fabric is right here. So if I had applied that same idea and filter to it, it would have taken all the rock that's supposed to be jagged and sharp and everything else and smoothed all that out. He would have lost all his definition and we wouldn't have the thing. But yes, this is the body for Wolverine. And I printed out the head, and he has the fins because it's actually the Deadpool Wolverine variant of Wolverine. And he has those fins coming off the back of his head, and the tips of the fins both snapped off. So I'm in the process of reprinting the head and all that. I just printed out this arm. And that's actually what's in and being hit with UV light now to cure it. The thing is, the claws that come off his knuckles, those things are super fragile, so I had to cut them out. I'm going to have to sand them down and all kinds of stuff because I was afraid of pulling on the support too hard and snapping the whole claw off. Let's see what else we got. I've got Totodile here from Pokemon. My daughter's collection. He's got to get painted. I've got this, like, there's shit in here I completely forgot about. The Eye of Agamotto. Agamotto, or whatever. We got Silver Surfer. We got that whole little thing with him, and then the Surfer himself. Which I'm going to try out the chrome pin when I do him eventually. And then we have this bastard who, the bigger version of the Hulk that needs to get done. He came out all right. I mean, I'm not going to lie a little bit. I'm going to check under because I'm afraid of leakage. Seems to be a little bit, but not much. I may want to re-dry this Hulk statue, unfortunately. I may want to re-cure him before we get into making him black, because I'm seeing it on my finger. I don't know if you guys can see the shine, but he does have a little bit of resin leaking off him. So that tells me that some of the supports in there, I didn't get them completely out in the hollowing. That's what I found is if you don't take your supports completely out when you hollow something out of the middle of the figure, or the bust or what have you, then what happens is it actually, because it's a water washable resin, just from the water base in it, it starts to degrade the model from the inside and then forces it to crack. Yes, leakage of the bottom is not a good thing, Stranded. That's a good call. And then last but not least, going into the black tonight, is good old Squirrel Girl here. And she is the Marvel Rivals version of Squirrel Girl, different artist though. He had already split it into pieces and the whole 9 yards. So we got a lot of stuff to get black. a lot of bigger models. And to get pretty, yeah, and I don't even know what to talk about. Bubba had called me good old William in the chat. There is Bubs, and he called me earlier, and he's like, "What are you going to talk about on stream tonight?" I was like, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, there's some stuff going on in the world, but most of it revolves around tariffs, and it's boring. Um, the only thing I can say, actually, let me see if I can mess with this Hulk a little. See if I can just get him with the old paper towel, clean him up. The only thing I can say about the tariffs, and I was telling this to Bubba, my wife actually, I told her this last week. I guess right after the stream last week, I was talking to her about it. I was like, man, everybody's panicking about Trump and the tariffs and all this kind of crap. I was like, what I'm hoping he's doing is he's doing an art of the deal and he's switching up, and it's going to be like they're going to implement the tariffs and then he's going to suspend them and take everybody to trade deals, and he's just doing it to get everybody to the table. Well, that appears to be exactly what Trump pulled the old switcheroo on him. And then in addition to it, because like if you paid attention, people like Scott Bessent, like people that would know, were basically yelling and screaming like, hey man, don't panic, to a point where Trump said, what, panicins? I think that's what he called people. They're panicins. Some funny term like this, which was great. Sitting there messing with the base, seeing if there's any, yeah, I can feel a support or two in there. I may want to take this one all apart. But you had all these people basically panicked. Marcus showed it, the whole 9 yards. And then sure enough, he did. He was pulling the art of the deal. But what he also did was he basically made China look like assholes. Now, I explained this to Bubs. I said where it would go forward from here and where I think this could get interesting is it reminds me of not art of the deal, but art of war, right? You next thing you do is you cut off your enemy supply chains, and then you've got to endear their people to you like you're benevolent. So don't be shocked. And my wife actually called this one, which would be interesting if it happened. She said, I think this is the way this is going to play out. But there's 3 nations basically that produce rice, and that's China's one of its staple crops is rice, right? So you have China, India, and America. 3 major producers of rice. Well, if there's something that happens and all of a sudden, mysteriously, China's rice gets destroyed, like there's a blight on it, all of a sudden, I don't know, locusts are unleashed, or there's some kind of plant virus that hits them and wipes out their staple crop, then their people are starving, and somebody can step in and be a good guy, meaning that if you really wanted to get rid of Xi, because you can't do it like the old days where everybody, grabs their weapons and goes to war, that's frowned upon. However, there's many different ways of destabilizing a society. What's up, Forever? How are you? Yeah, see, Bubba was talking to me about the helicopter crash. I haven't seen anything about it. He said it was a pilot and then a family of 5 or something. You guys have to tell me about that one. Yeah, but okay, so that's just it. But the whole thing is, if you can break China um, stranded, if you can get their people where they're hungry, they're now getting poor when they started to have conveniences. Like, I want you to think about this. As a Gen Xer, my wife says this all the time. The internet goes out, I get fucking pissed, right? And like I get antsy after about 3 days. Gen Z, on the other hand, doesn't know how to exist without internet at all. Something that simple, just taking out internet. So if you actually You start cutting off people's food. You're taking away some of their luxuries, stuff like this. And then the Americans come in and they drop, like, I don't know, bags of rice with an American flag on it. So this way, you know, it's not blighted rice. Well, all of a sudden, you start looking at America in a positive light. You start looking at she, whatever, XI, as a complete jerk off, right? It turns the people against him. And then they start wanting their freedoms back. They want their luxuries back. So there is a game to be played here, and we'll see how they play it. We'll see how America does. We'll see what Trump's next step is, what his next plan is. But I just want you guys to remember, it was under Reagan that the USSR fell and how they fell. History doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes. And looking at things through that kind of lens, that means that China should be the one to fall under Trump at some point. Oh, yeah, and we saw how, that's what I mean. But now, just imagine, you can't get food. Hello, Devin. How are you? All right. This is some sick and silly, thick-ass paint. I got this stuff cheap as fuck because it was on sale. We'll see if it actually, oh my God. That stuff's like so thick it's like still falling out of the jar. Oh. I'm going to have to dilute the hell out of this stuff. Come on, you're almost there. It's like pure black icing or something stuck in the... Let's get some, where do I know I have water around here somewhere on the desk. Is that thinner or is that water? That's the water. That stuff's going to have to get diluted a lot to go through an airbrush. Matter of fact, before I even do anything with the airbrush, I'm going to shoot thinner through it just to make sure that the airbrush is clear. Dilute the hell out of this stuff, though. I mean, it's chunky. You know something? All right, here you go. Here's one for you. And this is, you know, like, I know Oriental is not something that should be used as a term, apparently. I don't know what the derogatory part of it is. I don't know, right? I just don't know, because when I was a kid, everything was Oriental. Now it's like, oh, that's racist. You say Asian or what have you. But you know how they used to do ads for different stuff? So you had like Miss Cleo back in the day and stuff. Does anybody remember the ad for Pearl Cream? It was called Pearl Cream, right? And it was like, I'm going to say it was an Asian lady in her like 40s. And she just like, she's like, Pearl Cream. Yes, that's how my skin stays so soft and beautiful. It's Pearl Cream. Oriental Pearl Cream. Does anybody else remember this fucking ad? It's definitely possible. It's the Blob, except for it's not jelly color. Yeah, like, so this is God honest, not making this shit up. Oriental Pearl Cream. Do you know why Asian women look so beautiful in their old age? It's Oriental Pearl Cream. Like, if I can find the ad and just play the audio from it, I mean, I don't know. Let me see if I can find it real quick and if I can get away with it. Probably have a lot of static in it because it's going to be from a VHS tape. Let me see. Hopefully I don't crap everything out. But yes, it's fucking hysterical. Like it's one of my. I said it to my wife, and my wife's like, "I never saw that shit." I was like, "Yeah, they used to run that ad all the time." Let me see. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. Let's see. Yeah, Oriental Pearl Cream television commercial from 1991. Let me see. Can you guys hear this? Like, just Sheree, give me the okay. So you got okay. Shit, I'm trying to remember. See, like on the soundboard, I used to be able to just play this directly through. I might have to add actually. Let me see. Let me try doing this. Window capture 2. Okay, here we go. Let me stretch this out. Let's see if this works. This is basically what I'm looking at on my end. I don't know if the sound's going to come through. See if it comes up. All right, let me restart it. Let's see. All right, I got to figure out why the hell. That's one of those problems though with having this new microphone set up. Let me see. Search. Let me look for the sound. Because yeah, the sound, like without the sound, like output device, input device, yes, yes, sound systems, OBS. Um, okay, that's playing through my damn speakers. All sound devices. Yeah, there's got to be some way of doing this, guys. Shit. Maybe an OBS. Um, actually, yeah, you know what? Let me see something. Desktop audio. Desktop audio is all the way the hell up. Mic auxiliaries are all the way up. Let me see something. Okay, so it's not picking up my desktop audio. This shit's fucking great. Let me see. Properties. If I do it out the speakers, hit OK. Let's try this.
Since ancient times, we've had a beauty secret, just recently introduced to the Western world.
Looks like it's coming through now.
Pearl cream.
Can you guys hear it?
And it's made from real pearls.
Pearl cream actually made my skin
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I think I got it. Okay. You guys ready? Here we go. Let's start this shit from the rip.
All signs of lines and wrinkles.
Hello, I'm Nancy Kwan, and you may recognize me from movies and TV like Flower Drum Song, The World of Susie Wong, and more recently, Noble House. Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to tell how old most Oriental women are? Since ancient times, we've had a beauty secret, just recently introduced to the Western world. Our secret is called pearl cream, and is made from real pearls.
Pearl cream actually made my skin glow like a pearl.
I feel I look years younger. I can hardly see my wrinkles anymore.
Genuine precious pearls are pulverized into a lustrous powder. Special Oriental ingredients are then added to make this incredible skin treatment.
The special ingredients that they added in that white powder was cocaine. Just the FYI.
I've only been using Pearl cream for a few weeks, and my grandchildren think I've had a facelift.
For centuries, pearl cream was available only to the very rich. But in recent years, the lowered cost of gathering pearl oysters has made it affordable to everyone.
A 30-day supply of Oriental Pearl Cream is only $19.95.
Try it for 10 days. If you don't look and feel years younger, if your friends don't actually accuse you of having had a facelift, simply return the unused portion for a full refund.
To order, call 1-800-453-7600. That's
Look at that, right to a P.O. box.
Save COD charges by using your credit card. Or send $19.95 plus $3 shipping to Pearl Cream, Box 1313, Burbank, California. That's Pearl Cream, Box 1313, Burbank, California. But for COD and credit card orders, call 1-800-453-7600. That's 1-800-453-7600. Call now.
Dude, how, oh my God. Look at that. You can see the actual, I think it's going to pop up all my stream info. Look at that shit. Boom. Set us back to where we belong. That's how you can see the analytics. Let me get rid of that capture window. Actually, you know what? I might as well leave that shit there. Just in case I need to throw something else up on stream. But yes, Oriental Pearl Cream. Pearl Cream. Dude, and what's going on, Duke? Yep. Yeah, everybody order your Pearl Cream. It's a secret to how all Asian women stay so young looking. Yes, we put cocaine in with this special mix of crushed pearl. And the crushed pearl make us feel beautiful. Sorry, I need to keep my third leg. Yeah, and COD. Yeah, they stopped doing COD. There used to be so many scams with COD. So, like, there was one guy, and I can't remember the dude's name. But what he would do is he would send out a bunch of shit COD and say, hey, you ordered this from TV. And then the person would be like, oh, really? And then, like, pay the COD, so like $10 or whatever. And then they would get a box full of crap or what have you. And he would get, like, he basically was running his business that way. But yeah, I love the little old lady it's like clearly like a 40-year-old woman that dyed her hair gray, like, or white. And she's just like, my grandchildren think that I've had a facelift. It's like, no, bitch, you don't have no grandchildren. But yeah, you guys have never seen that commercial. That's like my father-in-law, like Crazy Eddie's. He took them down. But they were doing some fucked up shit. Like, they were completely, like, policing people, basically. All right, let's see if this airbrush is working at all. Let's see what we got going on here. I saw Alex Jones was on Tucker Carlson. Actually, an interesting talk between the two of them. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Turn up the Mac a little bit. All right. Let's see if we can't get a little paint going. Let's get a little happy accident going here. Actually, everything's just going to black. But yeah, helicopter crash. Like I said, Bubba had told me that when we were on the phone earlier, but I still haven't. I didn't get a chance to look it up. Well, that ain't good. There it goes. Oh, yeah. This stuff. I might have to dump this and thin it. Because we are not getting... I got plenty of pressure on this brush, too. That stuff's like jamming. Every time with this damn thing. Hey, what's up, Beans? Yes. Have you ever... Apparently there was a Bosnian version too, Beans. It was called Sand Cream. I don't know how good that stuff worked. But if you order now, we will... China is here, Mr. Burton. God damn it. Every time I see that chick, all I think of is Ada Wong from Resident Evil. I'm like, oh, that's where she started. Nah, Jon Stewart doesn't regret shilling for that potato. Jon Stewart, like, I'm sorry, he can say whatever he wants. Bill Maher, okay. Bill Maher is like classic liberal. He's going to hate Trump, regardless of anything. But yeah, what's his name? He's just an ass clown. Yeah, apparently, it's got glass beads in it. Beans, like you grind it up and it's got like glass beads or what have you. Saw that advertisement a long time ago too. I can't find it though. What the fuck is going on with this brush? Every time. I didn't even tell you guys the funniest thing with my airbrush. So I went and I was like, oh, I think it's the channel might have gone bad inside because it's the needle. There's a whole bunch of moving parts in there. But one of them is an air channel where the paint actually has to flow through. So I'm like, maybe that's what it is. Yeah. I ordered the wrong brushes fucking channel, so I don't have a spare channel. There we go. We're starting to go through. Bubble, bubble, bubble. Get that crap out of there. I'm really going to have to dilute this stuff. It's a bubble maker. If he has, I have not seen it. I've seen Kid Rock talk about it. Like, he went on the news, was just like, it was crazy. Like, they actually, like, were very cordial with each other, and Trump was asking him stuff on, like, what's your take on this, that, or the other thing? Like, he was like, it was surreal. Like, apparently Dana White and Kid Rock were both there, and both of them have said, like, it was just odd. One thing I did catch today, though, was, I don't know if any of you guys caught this or not. See if I can't get this crap blowing a bit. Let me see what my pressure's at. Oh my. Let's crank that up a little. Was Douglas Murray and Dave Smith on Joe Rogan. And that was kind of interesting. Like the conversation between the two of them was actually like, I'm not going to lie. I like Dave Smith. I think Douglas Murray, he's all right. But he came across as, like, in my opinion, a smug prick. Like a very smug prick on this episode. Like he was like, you haven't been to, what was it? Like the Gaza Strip? Oh, well, that's why you back the Palestinians or whatever. And Dave Smith's like, yo, I don't have to have been somewhere to talk about it. And he's like, right, but you're not talking from your own experiences. It's like Jesus Christ, dude, really? That's the level of fight you guys are going to get into? Shit. Actually, to tell you the truth, we used to have this one pipe stranded, and we used to call it the bubbler, and it was two like mini fishbowl pieces that went around this plastic ring with tubing coming out of it. So it went around like there was a ball down here, ball up top, and then there was a plastic ring that went around the center with tubing coming out of it, and a little switch that would turn on and off the air, and it was hooked up to an air filter, and you put a bowl piece in the top one. You lit the bowl piece so that, you know, stuff was burning in there, and then you hit the switch, like you put the glass bowl over top of it so it's enclosed, and you press the thing and it would auto hit you, like it would shoot the air out of the tube down into your lungs. Yeah, double bubbler. There you go. I think that's what it's called, right? But yeah, my buddies, it burned through weed though, so we stopped using it. Mainly when I smoked, I always smoked out of John McClane. He was my 6 foot, or no, he was 3 foot, straight glass graphics 420 piece. That was always my smoking device. I called him John McClane because if you hit him wrong, you coughed a lot and then you died hard. Yeah, death bong, gravity bongs and stuff like that. Yeah, my lungs ain't. Are you serious? Nowadays, like the last time I smoked, a buddy of mine got me something, and an eighth lasted me 6 months. Like I definitely, they just don't make them like that anymore, you know? Like my lungs, I remember back in the day doing 6 foot bongs with my friends and stuff. Like 6 footer, you needed somebody else, you put it in your, you know, somebody else would have to carb you and light it and everything. Those were the times. But then again, the weed wasn't as potent either unless you really were going to come out of pocket on it. Like nowadays, you got stuff that like you don't need all that much and it's going to cripple your ass. I still think it's funny that Snoop Dogg has gone on record saying, you know, because everybody always talks about what a big smoker he is. And he's like, yeah, there's one guy that can smoke me up under the fucking table. And that man is Willie Nelson. Like apparently Willie Nelson has got smoked Snoop Dogg under the table. Like where Snoop was just like, yeah, I can't handle anymore. And Willie's like, what? Come on, you bitch. Let's keep going. Willie Nelson's old as hell. Still can throw down. A death bong? A death bong is like, there you go. Bubs, you'll remember this shit because, all right, so Bubba never really smoked anything, right? This is one of my favorite stories with Bubs, too. And you had what I like to call the boys in the hood, which were the boys, all the tabernacle kids, the knuckleheads that they would hang out with everybody and all this. they would, and that's where I smoked like the 6-foot bong or whatever. But they drop by my house and they would pack it up in the car and then bring it over to every, different places like where everybody's chilling and smoke you out. Like everybody, they just wanted to have fun, get smoked with everybody and all that. So they would drive around with this 6-foot bong. And they brought it over to my place. All of us hit the fucking bong, right? We're all fucking rip shit. And like I said, Bubs doesn't smoke at all. Never has, as far as I know, in his entire life. It wasn't his scene, like he never did it. But we're all sitting there and everybody's all fucking like red-eyed and tore up from the floor up and all that. And there's some munchies going on. Like I pull out a bag of chips, start like, everybody's like, oh shit, munchies. And everybody's grabbing chips and stuff. And then out of nowhere, we hear, hey man, can I get some of those chips? And we all look it over and it's Bubba. And Bubba's like looking at us and we're like, Bubba, you're fucking stoned. And he's like, yeah, I guess I am. From the fucking contact, from the amount of smoke in the room from the 6-footer, like he got baked. It was funny as hell. It's like the other stoner story about my buddy Guido. All like, went down to this one lake that was right down the street from my house. And that was before we were really like smoking at my house. So kind of sneaking down to this lake and smoke on the shoreline and then drive back real quick. Cause it's like, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile away from where I live. And, out of nowhere, fucking, where I'm in the back seat, my other buddy is sitting next to me in the back seat. And Guido's driving us and he goes, wee, I can't feel my feet. And me and my buddy in the back seat are like, oh shit, we're going to die. But luckily he drove us at like 10 miles an hour. So it took a while to get home, but it's a funny story nonetheless. Dude, Duke, that's awesome. Like, I'm sure he's a cool man to like just have a conversation with. That's got to be amazing, let alone smoking with him. I mean, I've met a couple celebrities, but nobody on the level like a Willie Nelson or like, oh my God, stop the presses. You're fucking like the end all be all or something. Like I said, I've met Tom Berenger. He was cool. He's actually a big ass MAGA supporter, believe it or not. He had during Trump's first run, he had the whole MAGA hat going and all that stuff and what have you. Yeah, I mean, I've met a couple. Um, I know, like my buddy Guido, the one time. What was it called? Bubs might remember the name of the place. I think it was called CBGB's. It was out in Atco. But my buddy Guido, he used to go there all the time. He was in a band. He played live on stage a lot too. But Sepultura was playing, and they were like relatively like unknown for the most part. Like they weren't a big thing yet. They were just starting to take off, and their bass player or whatever got all fucked up, and Guido happened to be sitting there, and they were like, he was like, "Yo, man, I'll play bass for you guys." So he actually got to play bass with them one night. That was pretty cool. Like fill in for their bassist who was ripped. I mean, it's crazy. Some celebrities are complete assholes. Others are like really, really nice people. Like just down to earth, like just your normal dude who you'd bump into and be like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" Oh, making a mess. Make sure this thing stays clear where it's not drying on brush. I need a backwash cup. Right now, the paint is flowing through kind of actually nice. I must have diluted it just right or something. But yeah, a lot of this shit is just Trump with the fucking tariffs, Trump with the tariffs, people panicking, markets up, markets down, markets like, oh my God, people shitting themselves. And instead of just letting it ride. Let it ride, see what the hell happens. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, like, what other news is there? I think the House passed that fucking giant ass spending bill or something that Trump wanted. One big beautiful bill. I don't know how good or bad that's going to be for us, though. I'm not going to lie. Old school Deadhead, huh? Yeah, I was never big on the Grateful Dead. The parties in the parking lot, one thing, but the Dead themselves, they had a couple songs that I liked, but I don't know. I was never huge on the Dead myself. Like I said, always a good party in the parking lot for their shows, but didn't Fish take over when Garcia died? Like as the band that you go and chill in the parking lot and party and all that stuff. You didn't try hard enough. Yeah, I was never big on. I had too much baggage for trips. Come on, fire through. You got this. You can push that shit pigment out. There it goes. Yeah, I was never a huge Grateful Dead fan. John Mayer, really? Dude, I saw John. Actually, it's fucked up. I saw John Mayer and Counting Crows in concert. Then I've seen Counting Crows with oh god, Goo Goo Dolls. Goo Goo Dolls sound identical to their albums too. By the way, actually, everybody did. Which is always cool. You gotta love bands that sound just like they do on their album. Counting Crows would switch it up though. Like on the album, they used to, like I don't want to be Bob Dylan on Mr. Jones. He would say, or I want to be Bob Dylan on the album. But then when you saw him in concert, he was singing, I don't want to be Bob Dylan. That shit had changed. Fish sucks. That's fucking great. Yeah, I don't fucking know. I was never a Fish fan either. I just thought they took over that whole like that vibe basically from the Grateful Dead. And the Eye of Agamotto should be kind of easy to paint, I want to say. It's just going to get gold and bronze. Yeah, thinking about that damn commercial, though, that Pearl Cream commercial. Makes me. You guys remember Girls Gone Wild? I'm sure everybody remembers Girls Gone Wild, right? That's one of those that I'm pretty sure everybody remembers. Yeah, Girls Gone Wild was basically the 80s, 90s version of OnlyFans. Jam band, that's what they call it. I mean, that makes sense. We had guys who used to play when I was working in the bar. I'll never fucking forget it. And they used to pack the house like every time. But there's a reason for that because, you know, everybody's out in the parking lot getting baked. But when I was working the bar, there was this one band. It was called the Jug Band, right? And they played basically nothing but Grateful Dead, shit like that. And it was like, but nobody called them the Jug Band. We all called them the Drug Band because everybody who came was always like baked out of their gourds, barely bought alcohol, the whole 9 yards. So the owner had eventually had to put a 2 beer limit on whenever they played because people would just, oh, cool, Jug Band's playing, let's go hang out, watch them, and then go get baked in the parking lot. Nobody's buying alcohol. You know, you're kind of losing money and all that, even though your bar's packed. I wonder how this thing is going to paint. He's actually layering out nice. Okay. They were originally called the Jug Band. Well, that makes sense because, like I said, these guys, like, that's all they played. They played Sugar Magnolia for 2 hours, you know, or fire on the mountain, whatever the fucking song was. They never played Touch of Grey. I always say, why don't you play fucking Touch of Grey? Can't play Touch of Grey, man. They're like one of the only Grateful Dead songs I truly like. Touch of Grey. And it's fitting. Clocks are running early. Must be getting late. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I was about to say something that was going to jinx this whole thing. And, like, as it started to leave my lips, I was like, no, shut the fuck up now, man. I was going to talk about the airbrush a little bit. And, yeah, every time I do that, for some reason, the airbrush just takes a shit all of a sudden. So, yeah, no. I'm just going to shut my cake hole and enjoy the fact that it's working right now. I do love the fact it gives such an even coat, though. Makes it so much easier when I'm actually putting the paint on it. Because my wife had asked me, she said they've unleashed, like, I guess, 5 or 6 new colors of the water washable resin that I get. She's like, do you want a different color other than the gray? I was like, no. She goes, well, you know, there's a black. Why don't you get the black color resin? Then you won't have to base paint it. I'm like, no, I don't base paint it because I want it to be black. I base paint it black so other paint sticks to it. Like, I'd still have to base paint it even if it's black, and it would just make shit harder. Yeah, I was definitely one of... Look, I've never lied and said, like, oh, the Grateful Dead was my jam, man. We had this one buddy, right? And that was his thing. If a girl was like a stoner or like hippie-ish in any way, you know, he would immediately like start talking like this, bro. Like, oh my God, the Grateful Dead is like the greatest thing ever. And it would sicken me. I'd be like, bro, like, you fucking loser. She ain't falling for it. I don't think there was a girl who ever fell for that shit either. I always looked at him like he was a complete asshole. Like, all of a sudden, it's like he's talking in a fucking Jersey accent and everything. Yo, bro, let me tell you, bro. Oh, some premium Chiba. Let me just tell you. Like, I'm talking good sensey, man. Like, yo, the colors, you can taste the colors when you drop this. It's not even sugar cubed or anything. Totally, brah. Totally. Like, it was crazy. You had people that walked around wearing, like, surfer necklaces and surfer gear and all this shit. I'm like, motherfucker, you live in New Jersey. Like, the waves come up to your fucking ankles on a good day. During a hurricane, they might hit you in the knee. Like, what are we doing here? But, yeah, I mean, I was like, if you can find a girl that's dumb enough to fall for that shit, you don't even want to get with them. Like, they're not worth much outside of one thing. Like, it was between that and, like, in New Jersey, it was between people who thought they were magically surfers all of a sudden, or the wannabes. You know the guy. Shit, man, I'll tell you what, bruh. Let me tell you something. Man, no shizzy in this hizzy for real, man. Like, those motherfuckers, it's like, bro. Bro. We ain't impressing nobody. Yeah, oh yeah, dude. Deadheads are 110%. Like, now, you know what? Real deadheads, are actually just fun. Everyone I've ever met has always been kind of like a mellow, polite person that's just kind of fucking chill. You know? They're actual Grateful Dead fans. Like, they just enjoy their special balloons and their hallucinogenics and stuff like that. They like that simpler 60s kind of time, guess you could say. More about nature and that kind of bit. I mean, I've met some cool ones. It's just like everything. There's cool people, and then but like I said, it's more about, and I haven't heard this word used in a very fucking long time, so when I bust it out, it's going to be funnier than hell, but I've just met a lot of posers in my life. I guess that's the best way of putting it. Like, they either wannabes or posers or whatever. Just fucking be yourself, man. You know? If you're just yourself, what's wrong with that? Oh, well, that's boring. I'm a boring person. Okay, well, fucking some people like boring people, you know? Like, it's cool. Be boring then. I'm all right being boring. Now, granted, I'm an old ass man too, but I'm all right being boring. But don't try and be something you're fucking not. I think that's, and on top of that, nowadays, a lot of people, and I don't mean like a lot of people, a lot of younger people, the big problem is they don't know what they're supposed to be. And then social messaging is really fucking them up. Like, well, you know, I can get into that girl's locker room. I just got to tell everybody that I'm gay or I'm trans. Then I can get right into that chick's locker room and check things out for myself. The only problem is because you said you're trans, then no matter what, you ain't getting none. Because girls are just going to see you as like their gay friend. So I think it's definitely a tricky, touchy time. You're an exciting person that talks all the time. Do you like, yeah, that's just it. Like, that's one of those things where, and I always say this kind of dumb shit, but I would love it if I just set stuff up where like, granted, we got the Discord where you can leave the voice messages or whatever, but I would love it if I just had it where it was like an interactive show where I could talk to people. Because, you know, I'm sure there's certain people that once you hear their voice, you can't unring that bell. Like, Devin called into ABL one time, and anytime she types something to me, all I can hear is her fucking voice. Like Beana too. Beans had put something up or whatever, like put in a voicemail at one point in time on the Discord, and I that's all I hear is her voice whenever she's typing something out. Like Danny, we all know what Danny sounds like. Yes, but that's just it. I had heard you before that, Devin, on. Yeah, well, same thing. I've heard your husband too. You know what I mean? When you guys were helping me set up sound, but I had heard you before that. Like I had already knew what your voice sounded like because you had called in ABL the one time. That's what I mean by that. Yeah, Devin's the reason why I got the sound working the first time for the first stream. And then you have Sheree. Sheree's the reason I didn't blow myself, like just completely blow my brains out live on stream on a Friday when everything went to fucking total shit. Sheree and Stranded. You sound exactly like you do, you know, when you're just normally talking. Kind of like a Boston version of Betty Boop. I would have to hear one time Stranded whenever you call in. And then once that happens, it's like anytime you're sitting there and you're on stream or whatever and you're typing in the chat, I'm going to know, I'm just going to picture that's exactly what you sound like you're, when I read off your chat. Here's the thing. Yeah, that is one cool thing that's going to happen. I think the Marvel Rivals game, I think they're adding Emma Frost. Man, they made that girl thick. Like very, very thick for the game. But I think they add her tomorrow, and then Ultron's coming. But I think they're adding in all the X-Men outfits for like Magic and Psylocke and what the hell? What did you say, Billy the Mib? Oh, what's ABL? That's Anthony Bryan Logan. Yeah, political show almost everybody watches. I only like drop in, say hi to everybody, call Duke a cocklooker, give Devin a thing of popcorn, shout out to Sheree, the greatest mods on these internets, and then I say peace, I'm out, and I'm fucking done for the night. Not because I don't like the guy. Just like yesterday, I was sitting here grinding and tearing apart like Wolverine and Blender, so that was a bitch. And it's like I've been working on stuff like that. Matter of fact, I built a playpen for the dog the other day, and he's been out. I've been taking him out for hours, so it's actually forcing me to get out off my fat ass and spend some time with the animal and stuff like this. Yeah, oh yeah, I know. Every time, dude. Fucking Duke cracks me up with that. I'll be like, put cocklooker in the fucking chat and emojis. And then out of nowhere, like, Duke will answer back with a sucker. And I'm just like, oh shit. Like, if anybody knew what the hell he's talking about. Sheree knows, but that's what makes her the greatest model on these internets because she knows nobody else knows. She lets it fly. And why? What happened yesterday? Okay. Yesterday was so horrible that Bina had to exit early. What the hell happened? Was it just a bad show? Was it like people calling in? Were people assholes? What happened? Before I go any further, I think this is the part of the show where I need to give a shout out to Alien Spaceship Sound Effects and Blog, even though he's not in the chat right now. I am gonna shout Alien's channel out because he always shouts me out, always sends people over here to check me out and everything else, and actually help me get my stream set up just like Devin did. And I appreciate the hell out of him. He's always trying to learn something, cover trials, all that. So Alien, shout out to you, and if you haven't checked him out, check him out. But what happened last night on ABL? What did I miss? Was it arguments in the chat? Huge disagreement over what, though? Texas track killer. Man, I must be low-key way off target on this. So, what exactly? So, the huge disagreement was over what? On the Texas track killer? Is that what it was over? I don't even know what the fuck the Texas track killer is. So therefore, I have no opinion unless it was somebody who killed, like an innocent person or whatever. Then yeah, send them to jail or whatever. Yeah, I don't fucking know. Some black kid stabbed a white kid. Okay, so that's different from the chick that like clubbed the shit out of the other chick with the baton by accident, allegedly. So some black kid stabbed a white kid at a track meet over what? Just he couldn't beat him in a foot race? Because that doesn't seem likely to me. All right, so it is different from that. So then one faction was like the black kid was right for doing it, and the other faction was like, no, he wasn't. Was it White Lives Matter versus Black Lives Matter? Like, what happened here? Did Sheree actually get the? Did Sheree ban anybody? Because that's when I'll know shit really went off the rails if she's got to ban somebody. I don't even remember what his opinion was on it. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if that was on purpose or a fuck up or what. I didn't really give a shit about it, is what I'm kind of saying. Like, I just remember it happening. One what? One banned themselves? Like, one was just like, yeah, fuck this, I'm out, and quit watching? Or. So the white kid kind of like shoved them, I'm guessing. And the black kid just responded with a quick stabbing. That's that escalated kind of quickly. I mean, now the black kid's going to jail, right? And all that kind of stuff. And we're supposed to feel some kind of way, but technically the white kid put his hands on. I don't know. Like, what was the opinion that flipped everybody the fuck out? Seems like a pretty clear case. You do the crime, you do the time, you know? I don't really give a shit about skin tone or anything else. Wow, even regulars said they were unsubbing? Holy shit. Yeah, see, like I said, Duke, unfortunately with the baton thing, I didn't pay enough of attention to it. It, you know, from my perspective, I don't care if it was an accident or not. I could, whatever. But, so wait a minute. Duke, you said correct. So basically, the white kid pushed the black kid. The black kid responded by stabbing him. Did he kill him? Like, did he kill the white kid? Oh, so so he was like, you guys are wrong. You guys are wrong or whatever. When you guys didn't agree with what his opinion was on something. Well, you know what, Beans? I've said this before. Look, you and I we have different opinions on stuff, and I tease you and stuff like that and all that stuff. You've gotten upset, and I've said, fucked up, like, I fucked up one time and said something that I didn't mean and didn't mean it to come out the way it sounded. I immediately apologized to you. Took you a little while, but you got over it, right? But I also apologized because I felt I was wrong, and I was, like, sincere with it. I don't apologize often, but if I feel I overstepped the line or whatever, that does not shock me. Like, none of what you guys are saying shocks me, because the problem is that that's the same shit that happens with Ivan when he calls in sometimes. Wow, really? Really? He went down that path like he was like all of a sudden he became left wing and was just like, everybody are racist. Don't agree with me because, you know, I got the perspective on this. That's fucked up. Yeah, that'll make people stop watching you. But yeah, I've said this before. There was one time Ivan was on there and he was saying something, and Ivan was actually 100% right. ABL was wrong. And instead of admitting that, okay, Ivan, you might have a point, let me look into this a little further, he basically just belittled and then muted Ivan. And it was like, yo, but Ivan was actually on point with what he was saying. He wasn't 100% incorrect in everything he was saying, but he was correct. But ABL can't admit he's wrong. Wow, you're not subscribing to his channel as a member to listen to yelling? So you mean like he was like full on like going off yelling? Like he wasn't just like his normal I'll talk kind of deep and a little louder because this didn't, you like, it wasn't like that. He was actually like, motherfucker. Like he was like yelling. He was mad. Yeah, well, you know something, Beans? Even though I made you mad once, and you know, you handled it like an adult. When you're doing this, when you're streaming and stuff, you got to handle things like an adult sometimes. Like, you got to put stuff aside. And if he, man, I'll tell you what, if that's his attitude, that's fine. I got 5,000 new subscribers a week. Is that what he said? Yo, that's how you end up, your channel goes poo-poo. Real quick. I will tell you that much now. Right? I've always said, like, this goes back to that mathematics I did. Because he's got over 1 million subscribers. He doesn't have even 10,000 people watching him every time he live streams. He's got like 1,000. He only live streams twice a week. Right? So usually it's right around 1,000 to 1,500, correct? Stranded, you're not wrong. I remember that. You are not wrong. I do remember that happening. Dude, you never hear me say unsubscribe from ABL, right? You'll hear, hey, I don't watch them like I used to, or stuff like that. But and I just drop in, drop out real quick, give a shout out to everybody, and then leave, right? You're never going to hear me tell you not to watch. Like, I'll sit here and go off about example A, Tim Pool. Think he's a total grifter, but if you like listening to him, by all means, go listen to him, man. That's not for me to tell you who to drop or what have you. I can just tell you that, I don't know. There was, I had missed a show or whatever. There's a couple subscribers that he got in there that legitimately, when they were chatting, kind of rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. I'm not going to lie. Like, they, I don't know. I just felt some kind of way about him. And it was like, eh. And it's a shame because I really like ABL and his content and stuff. But legitimately, I've kind of found other people that do it better than him and are more appreciative of their audience at this point. Yeah, you can't, and that's the other thing. You shouldn't be calling ABL an N-word ever. Like, he's not. Flat out, he's not. But Beans is right too, that's not your friends. He's a fucking YouTuber, right? Then again, I could also feel that way where I've always said this. If I get monetized, my mod gets paid. Period. End of sentence. They're getting something. They're getting a chunk off. Because even if I got to do it under the table for them, because that's not right that I'm making loot. They're not. You know what I mean? They're sitting there hammering stuff out. So there's certain things like that I'm not a huge fan, but I don't think he's a bad dude with a bad message normally. But Beans is right. Like, they didn't have that version of him. I mean, I could have gone with the smaller version, like this little guy right here. See, David, this one's like your dick. This one's like mine. See how it's like, 4 times, 5 times bigger? That's because you're British. Yeah, see, Stranded, that's kind of where I was at, but it wasn't even just trolls. I don't think it was people trolling. I think it was people with, I'm trying to think how to put this. Opinions that I do not share. Like, in any way, shape, or form do I share them. I haven't noticed so many bots, but opinions I don't share that, like almost a superiority complex in certain cases, I guess, which was kind of odd. But hey, it is what it is, I don't know. Maybe I've read into things weird. Like I said, I'm always willing to say this is where I feel I erred or stuff like that. But to me, the fact that he got mad and was yelling, that's odd. You guys, you we can disagree and all that. David's heard me get mad and yell, okay? Bubba's heard me get mad and yell. Like, David's heard me get mad at my fucking troops in the game and yell, you know? Like, you motherfuckers, fucking the island's unsecure and all this kind of shit. Like, he's heard me go the fuck off over stuff like that, but you don't hear me get mad on the stream. Like, you might hear me go on a rant about, like, you know, pedos or something like this, because I fucking hate them, but yeah, the whole thing is, I'm not living off of YouTube. You know what I mean? I do this for fun. I do this to hang out with you guys, bullshit, chat. We all have a good time together. Well, I think we have a good time together. We at least have a good conversation. Damn it. Uh-oh. I don't know what I just did. I don't know if I fucked something up. I did. Can you guys still hear me or no? Yeah, the only thing is I just froze up my camera. I know I did. I dropped the tool because, yeah, I froze my camera. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can just pull it real quick and pop it back in. That's what she said. Hopefully that picks up. If I don't see my camera pick up, I have to restart my streaming software. It'll only take a second. Shit. All right. Thank God we learned that we can do this. You motherfucker. Let me guess. You guys can hear me, but you can't see shit. God damn it. Yeah, Sheree. Now it's the we got to play the hokey pokey with it. Jesus